evening, cult members, and welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And welcome to our review of The Vast of Night.
Yes.
I'm going to screw up this title again later. I will let you know that right now. There hasn't been a ton of stuff coming out lately. And the stuff that has come out has been mostly on streaming services. And this was something that kind of caught us off guard.
Right. I'm trying to think of...
We were watching something, and it was on a Hulu commercial.
Yeah. And we were like this kind of looks interesting. And
the trailer was very interesting.
Yeah.
The trailer very much gave us the 50s feel, small town, and there's
sort of 8mm close encounters,
and there was weird noises coming from the speakers by the radio station, and that was pretty much what the trailer was. And so we went and found the full size trailer, and it answered 0 questions and gave us more questions, and so we were very interested in this, and so we it came out this last week, and we decided to watch it. A lot of it, I'm not gonna lie about any of this, but a lot of the reason we wanted to watch this was there just hasn't been anything out.
Right.
There hasn't really. This would have been one of those movies that if there was a full schedule of things going on right now, we would have just oh, that looks interesting, we'll watch it at some point in time, and then we never get around to it.
Yeah.
Because there'll be a bunch of stuff in the theater right now and stuff.
I kind of feel like we probably would have tried to, just because it is, I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit, but it's a brand new director, a brand new writer, a very unknown cast. So,
yes.
And that's kind of up our alley, a little more independent.
Yes. Peanut Butter Falcon, is kind of even though Shyla was in it, but it unknown, really unknown writer, director, unknown cast outside of Shyla kind of thing. So it's very much that. And we've talked about this in the past. One of at least my major genre that I love the most is sci-fi, and this kind of had that X-Files, Close Encounters kind of feel in the trailer. And so it was like, oh, okay, so that, just definitely pulling on the right strings and everything when we got there. And so it's like, okay, let's give it a watch. And spoilers for our scores later, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely tell it's a lower budget. I mean, the whole thing happens in
one
town, but mostly 2 buildings. They're in a school auditorium for a hot second, and then they're out in the forest for a little bit, but most of it happens between 2 buildings. I
was looking to see if it said what the production cost was, but
I
don't see it.
It couldn't have been. It couldn't have been too much.
I think at the most maybe $2 million.
Yeah,
just because
for the there's some special effects.
There's some special effects at the end, and there's and there's also the production design itself.
Yeah.
There's the radio station is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
The girl, Faye, is the main girl. She's played by Sierra McCormick. And she's a switchboard operator in this small New Mexico town.
Yeah.
And so having there's not a ton of those sitting around where they're actually the lights light up and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that they either got lucky with that or they had to do something with it or something.
Yeah. I feel like maybe they found one somewhere that they could use,
absolutely.
or on a back lot somewhere from some movie a million years ago.
One of the things that I wanted to talk about, actually, let's talk about the performances first, because we've talked about how it's a bunch of unknowns and first time of everybody.
Yeah.
The 2 main characters, Faye and Everett. Everett's a DJ in the town. Jake Horowitz is the guy who plays Everett. That's 2 names I've nailed in a row. I need to go to bed now. My day's over. But the 2 of them have some kind of chemistry that is very hard to find in actors who haven't worked together a bunch of time in sequels or movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have a very quick rapport with each other very quick. Point counterpoint back and forth. Like they've been friends for a really long time.
Yeah, it made it easy to jump in because you really do feel like you're kind of jumping into a story already in progress.
Yeah. They don't shy away from the you're going now.
Yeah.
There's no setup. There's exposition. And a lot of the opening part of the movie is the exposition of the town and what's going on and why things are the way they are. And then they do some more exposition later. But it's a lot of people say that's, you can't do exposition and it ruins the movie. But in this instance, I think it actually adds to the movie because you do just jump right in and you do kind of figure out what's going on very quickly. And it makes sense for the way they're telling their story.
Right. Otherwise, I mean, it starts. I mean, the whole movie is probably it's not quite in real time, but maybe
it's pretty close.
2.5 hours worth of time, and the movie's like 90 minutes long. So it's pretty close to being in real time. And otherwise, you would have had to have started way earlier in the day to understand what's going on, and then you're just going to get a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with that story, right? It's not.
I don't need the backstory of Faye's sister, I don't need that.
The story is what happens in that 2.5 hours, and so let's just tell that story.
And I love that. I do really love that they just let's go and let's get right into it.
And catch up. Like, it basically forces the audience to catch up, which I appreciate because I don't appreciate when writers and movie studios feel like they have to dumb things down for the audience.
Right. The audience, for the most part, is smart.
Right.
And especially if you get something with this kind of genre kind of thing.
Yeah.
People who are coming to this know, they know what's going on. You don't have to explain.
Actually,
there was a couple of times where I was like, I'm actually kind of joking. That might have been the tequila, but I just like that they did this storytelling process of essentially, like you're saying, real time, and that led to a very interestingly edited movie because of that.
Yeah,
because they did do a lot of very long takes.
And very interesting camera angles.
Yes.
I don't know if they used a drone, and
there's got to be a drone shot in there because that one shot you're talking about.
Yeah, well, the opening is all like that too. It's all very low to the ground, but moving with Everett along as he's, going through the gymnasium, right, and all the little interactions and stuff. You might be able to do that with a handheld,
a small handheld,
down here,
gimbal or something.
Yeah,
like that.
But there's another scene that's out on the street, and again low to the ground, but you're following a car.
Yeah,
and then it rises up and over the crowd and down into the auditorium. So I kind of feel like that probably was a drone shot, but a lot of street running along the street, driving along the street.
There's a lot of the opening that we were talking about with the exposition was Faye and Everett walking along and talking back and forth and playing with this recorder, this audio recorder and stuff like that. And you're the third person in the conversation, but you're just out of, you're within earshot, but you're not social distancing properly with it and stuff. And I found it very interesting because you're spying in on their conversation.
Yeah.
And they're talking about a bunch of different things while it's going on. And you understand that they have a relationship, and there's actually a really funny joke later on about, why are you hanging out with Everett kind of thing? Like a little bit of a kind of no, it's nothing or whatever. But there was one particular shot. It's got to be a 10-minute scene, 8-10 minute scene, that is unedited, all the way through, dealing with the switchboard, and it's really well done to build tension for the transition from Derry, the very 50s, kind of, it's probably actually more like late 50s, early 60s. Is the kind of the time period, but it's very much that Leave It to Beaver, Derry, kind of like kind of that kind of feel. And for over this 8 to 10 minute one take, no edits scene, it transitions in that scene to a full-on sci-fi movie, and that's when the tension, like you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And the scene got done, and I turned to her and I went, that was amazing.
Yeah.
One actor on screen the entire time dealing with a switchboard.
Yep.
And it was so well done.
Yep.
I would love to take that piece out and just show it to people. Like, this is how you do this.
Yeah. It was good. It's, it goes from it's Friday night or whatever in a small town, everybody's at the basketball game, to something weird's happening.
Something weird's happening, and there's I don't want to give anything away about what the weirdness is, but it is sci-fi, and it is very X-Files. It's very much like what we've been talking about, and this movie needs to get recognition. The director is Andrew Patterson, and it's his first anything.
Yep.
He has no DP,
no credits.
no anything on IMDb. This is it. This is the only one.
Yep.
And the main two writers, James Montag and Craig Sager, they also have no, this is their first anything, not like assistant writer in the writer's room of some show or whatever. This is it. So you got people who, somebody took a chance on these guys and they nailed it.
Yeah.
And they really did a great job of low budget, build tension, sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
You have my undivided attention.
Yeah. It's, it's refreshing, and it's cool. I mean, sci-fi is probably one of the easiest things to do that with, a low budget.
Horror is the easiest kind of.
You think so?
Horror, you can do a good horror movie for about $1 million.
Yeah. I mean, there's all the blood.
And that's a lot. Just a lot of that $1 million is the blood.
The blood.
And the cleanup of the blood.
Yeah. But you can, I mean, Steven Spielberg's made his life almost on lower budget sci-fi.
Yeah.
You never sometimes you're never even sure. It's like you said, it's X-Files. You're never even sure at the end of the movie what really happened.
Yeah.
What it really was. You never see, what was it? Bigfoot? Was it, what was it?
Yeah.
And
if you pay attention, they kind of lay groundwork for throughout what ends up happening at the end. I'm trying really hard to delicately walk around it.
Yeah, they do. But I'm just saying that it's easier to do a kind of sci-fi mystery almost, without all the CGI and all that stuff, and never potentially. I mean, sometimes they do, but Close Encounters. At the end of Close Encounters, you finally get the. I don't even know if it was CGI back then, but I
think that was actually a practical set, but yeah,
because it was the 80s or late 70s. You finally get the big thing. Spoilers. But the rest of it is all running around trying to find the devil's whatever it was.
Yeah, Devil's Point. It's been a while since we watched Close Encounters.
Whatever, so. Yeah. But, I think there's, I was going to say 8mm, but you get about halfway through 8mm, you get the monster.
Super 8.
Or Super 8.
Not 8mm.
Yeah.
That's snuff porn.
Yeah. That's right. Super 8. Sorry. You get the monster or whatever.
Yeah,
but for the first half of it, it's just stuff kind of being thrown around.
Yeah. And I that's like I said, that's when we own Super 8, and we own those kind of movies, and so that's definitely one of those things that we like the big shiny ones too, but like this is definitely right in our wheelhouse. So let's do a score since we haven't really done a movie in a while.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay. I want to give it a 7 out of 5 because we haven't really seen a new movie in a while, and so I'm thinking 3.75.
Okay.
If you've watched our show and our reviews before, that doesn't mean we like it any more or less than other ones. I think this might be one I might actually revisit a little bit more too. It's only 90 minutes, so it's really easy to go back and kind of.
Yeah, I would totally watch it again.
Yeah. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I would totally watch it again, and that's a big factor. And then just this one's a little bit different. Just the rewatchabilities are a big factor for our scores, but just an amazing job for a bunch of unknown people. Like nobody.
Bunch of noobs did a good job. Yep. I want to see what they do next. So I guess that's all. We could talk for another 20 minutes about this movie because the cinematography is amazing. We talked about it a little bit, but I could go in depth. I've been listening to Roger Deakins, so I know all kinds of stuff. There was a lighting scene that just okay. Anyways, so that is our thoughts on The Vast of Night.
Yay.
That's it. That's as many times as I'm going to say it. Let us know what you thought of the movie, our review of it, and everything else that you've been watching during this time. I'm just tired of talking about it, so we're going to watch more movies. So let us know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and follow us on all the social media stuff. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as long as Twitter isn't blowing up and all that jazz.
Yep.
And until next time, if we don't see you, cult members, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.